Bestie Breakdown. You're watching Majesty Mike.
Action. I was just in Canada and I froze my balls off.
Even though it's March, huh?
Even though it's March. It was a good time though.
So no regrets on moving here?
Absolutely no regrets on moving to Dallas. I love it.
No FOMO?
No FOMO. Can confirm.
But there are a few things in Canada that you can't get here. Like, I guess you don't really eat dairy, but I was going to say you could have had a patin.
I mean, they actually offer that shit now, like with dairy-free cheese. Like they have dairy-free cheese curds.
Okay, nice.
So,
what about a beaver tail?
I didn't. Those
Ketchup
are all
chips?
downtown. No, we actually have a list. We should bring it on the Bestie Breakdown. A list of like Canadian things that you can't get in the U.S.
Particularly snacks.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, I did go to Tim Hortons. Ultra
okay.
Canadian of me.
Right.
Got an ice cap. Shout out to their ice cap. If you're ever in Canada, get a fucking ice cap from Tim Hortons.
There's Tim Hortons in Dubai too.
Get an ice cap if you're in Dubai at Tim Hortons.
Yeah, they started to branch out, but it's not in America. Not in America, as far as I know.
Tim Hortons, it is. It's in the northern states.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like, give me an example.
New York.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's in New York.
Okay.
Because when I went to, I think it was Syracuse, I was shocked to see a Timmy's there in the mall.
Maybe.
Yeah. So it is in the U.S., just like scattered.
It's not the same though.
No. They all offer different shit. Like it's all catered, which is cool. Like I would go, like I'm sure in Dubai they offer different stuff as well.
Yeah, like even the McDonald's in Dubai, they have like a McArabia and like a falafel wrap.
So good.
Like a very different menu than here.
I think we should travel the world just to visit McDonald's and Tim Hortons.
No, we can't be those people. You always need to eat the local cuisine. But anyway, yeah, so you're at Tim Hortons.
I got an ice cap, my favorite. Don't eat their Timbits anymore, but if you can eat dairy, eat their Timbits.
Very nice.
They're actually doing their they do it a yearly it's like a prize. Like
So the roll up the rim.
Roll up the rim. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my god, it used to be so fun back in the day, but now they like digitize it, so it's kind of boring and stupid. Like it's all on an app now.
Right.
Before it was like you bought a coffee and like you literally had to roll up the coffee rim on the cup.
Right.
And
you would
saw.
win either like a free cup of coffee or there'd be like cash prizes, a car, things like that. But most commonly you would win a free coffee.
Didn't somebody at our school win the car? I swear to God, somebody at our high school won the car.
I'm not sure.
I swear to God, somebody I know won the car. And they said something about it like being a lease or something.
Oh, that does sound familiar.
Yeah.
Now that you remind me about the lease, like they advertise it like you win a car.
Yeah.
But it was actually like they would lease it for you
Something
for
like that.
24 months.
Some
so you don't
bullshit.
even get to keep it.
Something like that. I'm not sure. Tim Hortons, if you're fucking listening, don't quote us. This is what we've heard. You can fill us in, but you are advertising that you win a car.
Right. Or I think that they also pushed you to take a cash prize, like a lesser value cash prize.
Honestly, I'd probably take the cash prize. I don't know if I'd want to.
I think that reason that people are so intrigued by the car is because if you're getting a car, you're not having the taxes.
That's true.
The same way getting the same lump sum of money, you would be getting taxed on it.
But then again, I don't know if that's true because in Canada, they don't tax the lottery.
I think this is different though.
I don't know. But anyway, when I was up there was a whole lot of fucking drama going on with this roll up the rim shit.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What?
I don't know if you heard about it, but basically there were a few people who, okay, so basically how it works now is it's not physically rolling up the rim, which sucks because that used to be a struggle. People used to like go all in with the
probably
because
of COVID, they switched it up.
Oh, that's good reasoning.
I mean,
maybe.
probably because it's just so unsanitary. People like bite off the rim of their cup and like hand it to cashiers.
That's true. And I did hear of like people throwing it in the garbage and then other people stealing it and claiming it and then people arguing. So maybe that's another reason too.
Okay, so they've digitized the whole thing.
It's all in the app.
And
so now you buy a coffee, you scan the app, and you see if you won or not. And apparently, a few people have won or did win the $10,000 prize all at once. And I think, don't quote me, but I believe it's one $10,000 prize per month.
Okay.
But there were a couple given out in 1 month.
Okay.
And basically, they were all going at it. I don't know who's suing who right now. I'd be up in arms if I was.
Okay.
Did you hear about that?
Yeah. Now that you mention it, I did read. I think I read about this article. It was multiple people.
Yeah.
were told that they won $10,000 cash prize. Tim
Through the
Hortons
app.
put out a
Yeah.
statement saying that it was an app error
Yeah.
and offered them a $50 Tim Hortons gift card as a apology. And I think that some of them are suing because, I mean, I don't know. I'm not like, my first thought isn't like to be the type of person that sues.
No.
But it's also like they probably have insurance. Like, why isn't the app company liable? It's always just a little bit fishy that when people win or whatever, even this happens, you hear about this happening at casinos as well. Suddenly they're like, the slot machine had an error, or, oh, the app had an error. And it's like, well, it's not really up to the consumer to deal with that. The slot machine was taking their money. You know, they got this text. They, you know, I kind of see where the frustration's coming from.
Yeah. I would be livid.
Would you sue?
I don't know if I would sue. I would probably get together with the others who won, and I would just see what my options were. I don't know if I'd accept a $50 gift card.
Yeah, that is a pretty pathetic.
That's pretty pathetic. Give me at least $100. Fuck, not $50. What am I gonna buy with $50?
Yeah,
That's
that
crazy.
wasn't an adequate apology, in my opinion.
No, and that was like a fucking throw in the face, like here, run
Right.
type of deal.
Huh.
So,
Speaking of Canada and suing, there's something that I've always wanted to do. As
Okay.
I say that I'm not the type of person who sues.
people don't sue in Canada.
It's not common, but I will just say this. If there's any lawyers out there, DM me. I've always wanted to sue the Canadian government
Why?
for discrimination against stay-at-home moms.
Why? Please explain.
Okay. So just like to give you the short version.
Mm-hmm.
If your kids are in preschool and you are a stay-at-home mom or you don't bring in an income, it's not a tax write-off. You can't get the taxes back, basically. But if you're a working mom, you can. So I was always like, okay, like let's break down the logic here on what's going on, because it feels like discrimination. I'll just say that. Obviously, you know, a much lesser form. There's bigger problems out there.
in the world, yeah.
However, it's still valid. First, it's like, well, then you're completely discrediting early childhood educators. Like, why are you having people, you know, pay to do this, to get educated in this and certified, if you're basically calling them babysitters? And what you're really saying is, if you're a stay-at-home mom, this is just a babysitter service for you. You don't have a job to go to, so it's not a tax write-off. So I'm like, first of all, you're completely invalidating an entire field, saying that anyone is basically qualified to do this. And then also, you like, think about, you know, obviously I'm not a perfect example of someone who's negatively affected by this, but take in a new refugee to Canada who's maybe pregnant and has 2 other kids. She's trying to integrate her kids in the country. She needs them to learn the language. They need to socialize, all the benefits. Suddenly, like, they're just completely discrediting all of that. Like, who's to say this other mom who isn't running her household? And you get what I'm saying. Basically, they're just basically saying that only working moms can get the tax write-off. And I just think that it's always been a discriminatory thing. This also applies with private schools and any schooling, basically. A single income household or a stay-at-home mom can't file for taxes. So I always thought that was fucked up.
That is kind of fucked up. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah. So anyway, just a little thing.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah,
Trudeau, get your shit together.
A little different than this Tim Hortons fiasco, but it's always just been on the back of my mind. And really, it's not even about me like getting money back or anything, but like just to prove a point that like this is such a huge oversight in my opinion. And like, I'm just surprised it's not talked about more.
That's actually why. I mean, I didn't know about it, but that's crazy. I mean, maybe now it will be talked about more.
I hope. I mean, let's go.
Are you going to fly to Canada and protest?
No, I don't care that much. I'm living in the US now. I'm not like going to get all up in it, but I'm just saying that like for what it's worth, like if someone else wants to roll with this, I really think there's a valid
DM Amira.
Yeah, there's a valid lawsuit to be made. I mean, I think I explain the points here.
I think you did very well.
Okay, here's one thing that I really want to talk about. So you were just traveling as well. I just got back from Dubai, 16-hour flight, drains the life out of your skin. I will just say that.
I'm the
the weirdo with the face mask on the flight. I feel like Ahmed was a little bit mortified that I was wearing like a mask. But listen, like you got to do what you got to do. I feel like once you're on a flight that long, like all social decency goes out the window. You see people with their socks off, feet up, like the whole thing. People just like picking their nose, whatever. People like totally forget that they're like
cracking a beer.
Yeah, they forget. Well, not on these Middle Eastern flights, but but the point is, it's just like people just forget that they're in public. So it's like, well, if everyone's like, people are like cutting their toenails, I'm like, I can wear a face mask. If that's how everyone's rolling, I'm going to wear a face mask. So I did wear a face mask, which reminds me, we should talk about this in another thing, because I have so much to talk about about Emirates Airlines.
I hear good things.
Well, I have so much to tell you. I've heard some horror story from flight attendants. I've had some personal customer service experiences. So remind me next time we chat, because I don't want to tangent off. I did have a point. Yes, my skin was completely dry. So I've been on a huge skincare kick since I've been back.
Perfect.
I've been watching Hiram on YouTube, and he's kind of like the skincare product guru. So I've been like getting all back into it.
I mean, I think you should, if you're into skin, come to my place.
They would like. I feel like they don't want me.
I don't know what I could say. Again, there's an NDA, but just I'll drag your ass there and come with me if you're into your skin.
Okay, but well, next time you go, I'll come.
Okay.
I have a hydrofacial booked for next week. I did one right when I got back. But anyways, the point is.
What is the point?
The point is, I was reading up on Reddit because I'm always interested in people's like tips and tricks and what works for them and all this kind of stuff. And I came across a poll that said 50% 50%
50
don't wash their fucking face.
Ew.
50% of people don't wash their face, aside from just like the water falling on it in the shower.
Is it all men who's answering this poll?
No. Well, I don't know. It wasn't like gendered.
Maybe.
But 50% of people
That's a lot.
do not wash their face.
Okay. Just pause, because before I got into everything, before I came out as gay, I was like washing my skin with like the no-name like shit that dehydrates the shit out of your skin.
St. Ives?
St. Ives. I didn't know what I was doing with my skin back then. And that was, before that, I was washing my face with water. So so let's just say you're using water. We're using a face cloth. Yeah.
Okay, so this poll was about, like, in the comments, like, people not even using
a face cloth.
A face cloth, like, people not using any product or face cloth or towelette or anything on their face, like, literally just, like, looking up and letting the shower rain fall.
If I don't do that, I'll get, like, acne and pimples. Like, I need to wash my face.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't, apparently, which makes me, so this is what I was thinking about when I read that article, and maybe you've had a different experience, because I know at times we've been at different schools. I was thinking about health class in school and how much emphasis they put on sex ed.
A lot
of emphasis. I mean, and
dick balls.
But also a lot of, like, not misinformation, but it was like a lot of fear mongering.
Yeah,
it's like, if you have sex, you will get pregnant, you will die, like, you will get an STD. Like, I don't feel like there was any healthy conversation about sex, but regardless, my memories of health class, at least, are primarily about sex. And I'm like, why was it never covered personal hygiene?
That is such a good point.
Do you remember anything being taught?
Nothing. Just like in high school, nothing was spoken about money. Like, nada. Nothing about money. Same thing about personal hygiene. Like, all these important topics we should change the education system.
I mean, somebody should. I mean, even if you think back to even just COVID, all these, celebrities or influencers or whoever who are literally doing videos about the proper way to wash your hands. I don't care what other people are saying. I don't think that people were doing it that elaborately.
Can we just pause and just remember all those people who were washing apples with Lysol? That happened.
Yeah.
That's weird to me.
It was a weird time.
Such a
And
weird
the
time.
world just like forgets about it.
I forgot
There's
about it.
people we forget to make fun of even.
I know.
We should circle back to make fun of them. But the point is, that whole hand washing conversation, especially for younger kids, shouldn't have even been a conversation. Like, this should be normal things that are taught in school. How to wash your hands. It should be 2 happy birthdays, blah, 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 whatever the case. Basic hygiene, that you should be showering every day, that you should be washing your face. And I'm not saying that people need to be getting all into the details. Educators have enough to teach, and they're not parents. I understand that, but regardless, like, it wasn't talked about at all. And we personally know a couple kids in school who were quite stinky. and they could have possibly benefited from this. Their parents, absent parents. There's so much going on that I just feel like this should be a standard part of health class curriculum.
1,000,000%.
Like, it's Hiram's out here doing the Lord's work, trying
Amira
to
for principal.
trying to teach people how to wash their faces, and people like don't even know where to start. People are using. I've seen him do some reaction videos to people washing their face with dish soap.
Oh shit!
So,
dish soap.
And I'm just like, who is that person? Where did they go to school? Like, what is going on?
It's like the whole Tide Pod bullshit when kids eating
Were
Tide
people
Pod.
really doing that?
People legitimately were doing that.
I almost feel like that's a made up thing. Just like
No,
the
it's
like
not.
the
It's
what do
fucked
they
up.
say every year? Every year around Halloween, they're like, oh, there's people put drugs in the candy and they put razor blades in the candy. And I'm like, who? Where did that happen?
But it does happen.
No, I feel like there's just like this fear mongering every Halloween.
Wow.
Like, you think there's drug dealers out here that are just like, let me give my drugs away for free and like poison all these kids? What neighborhood are you trick or treating in?
I
Like,
know.
where is this happening?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely happened once. At least once, because then it wouldn't be talked about.
Okay, once, and then it like the myth goes on and on every year.
Yeah. It blows the fuck up.
I actually read that it was debunked completely and that it never happened. The razor blade thing.
Are you serious?
I read, like, I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. Can't remember like if it was a reputable source or not. But I did read somewhere that it was debunked and it was like completely just like a myth.
I mean, yeah, unless you're like making the candy yourself, how do you open a package and put a fucking razor in there?
But also, yeah, I don't
like you just
the
can't.
whole thing. And who even lets their kids eat candy that was homemade?
Yeah.
Like, as much as I appreciate the effort, it doesn't happen very
I
often.
would never.
We toss it. Like, we throw it out. That's just the bottom line.
You have to.
If it's not
safe.
sealed, if it's individually wrapped, it's just forget about it.
Yep.
Not doing it. And honestly, for my kids, we do a couple houses so they feel like they participate, but like, I would rather buy the candy myself.
Yeah.
And so it's trick or treating has never been a big thing for us. I'm never like, let's hit the whole block. Let's have them fill up a pillowcase. I'm like, forget about it. Hit a couple houses. You got your moment. Like, I can buy you whatever candy you want.
We always used to, there were like a couple houses on my main street. There were always like 5 or 6 houses on my street that would give out the big bars. We'd just go there and then go home. We just got the big bars and that was it. Extra big Kit Kat.
Yeah, there were a couple of houses on my street that did that as well.
So
we're
good.
very off-season topic right now.
So off-season.
We got into
nowhere fucking near Halloween.
I wanted to ask you. So I was chatting with a friend in Dubai when I was there, and she was saying that, and she wasn't on the date in Dubai. I think she was somewhere in the UK at the time, but she was saying that it was a deal breaker for her because they split the check on the first date, and she really liked him.
Yeah.
They hit all their. He hit all her boxes. But she was just like, I was just really turned off that, like, I felt like it was like mutual. They really liked each other.
Yeah.
And she was like, and he wanted to split the check, and she felt like that's a deal breaker, and that if he had really liked her, he would have picked it up.
I am on the same wavelength as that. I totally agree. I totally agree
that he should have picked up the check.
Mm-hmm.
So, but do you think it's a good enough reason to not see someone again?
I want to say yeah. Because at that point, I'm like, is he even interested in me?
Right. Because it's like, if you thought it was so promising, like, it's an easy gesture.
Yeah.
And she said they had met for a lunch.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like...
Yeah.
It was, presumably a reasonable bill.
Yeah. I feel like in the straight world, I feel like, yeah, if I'm a girl in the straight world, like, I'm... Like, that is just a gesture that shows... Like,
you want to see me again.
You want to see me again. I'm interested. Like, I really do like you.
Yeah. I always tell girlfriends of mine that if I was in the dating scene if I had no intention of seeing him again, I would absolutely insist on splitting the bill. So don't walk away with
Exactly.
don't walk away with any
Exactly.
guilt as a woman and just being like, this was nice, whatever. I don't expect him to pick it up because I don't want to see him again. If I wanted to see him again, I would expect him to pick it up because I feel like there would be other opportunities for me to pick up a check.
Yep. Totally. I could not agree more. I mean, I've been on a couple dates these past couple months, and I mean, he's picked up the check a lot of the time. And
Right.
that's just like amazing to me. That's like, fuck, like I guess he's really interested.
Yeah, that's how I interpret it as well.
That's exactly how I interpret it. So I'm on her fucking side.
Yeah. Well, I guess she's ruling it out. What is another thing someone could do on a first date that would be like a deal breaker for you?
I mean, it all depends. Well, if you go out to a restaurant, everybody always says, watch how they treat the wait staff.
Yeah.
That's very important.
But that changes by culture.
What do you mean?
Like
How?
some
Give me an
cultures
example.
are like a little bit more blunt.
Yeah, but I mean, just in North America, like in
Right.
general in North America, it's
But
like,
North America is a melting pot.
yeah, but I mean, like overall, like, I mean, I've probably gone on hundreds of dates. Oh, in my time,
Okay.
in my
100
time,
dates in the last 30 days.
no, in my time on this planet, I've probably gone on like 100 dates or whatever, throughout my time wherever I've been.
Yeah, okay.
And I just feel that
we can
it's-
bleep out that number if you want.
no,
Okay.
keep the number. I don't care. I don't
Go
care.
ahead.
Don't judge me. As I look right into the camera. I feel like it's pretty standard across. I've never come into. Everybody has always been amazing to the wait staff. That's
Okay,
all I have
good.
to say.
Yeah, I mean that obviously is important. Like
I
I
think
think
it's very
that I
important.
don't know if it's a deal breaker, but it would definitely make me like question more.
It would make me question it. I don't know if it'd be a deal breaker either, but it would make me question how the fuck are they going to treat me, or how the fuck are they going to treat somebody else.
I'm trying to think what would be some deal breakers for me. I think if somebody told me they were an only child, it wouldn't be necessarily a deal breaker, but I'd be like, very highly likely a narcissist.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, only children are like kind of fucked up.
Please explain.
Oh, come on. You know.
I mean, I don't know many people who are only childs, who have been an only child.
I could think of some examples of some people we know.
Don't name names.
No, I'm not going to. I'm just saying some people we mutually know and both don't like. So I'll remind you of those people once we're
Please.
finished. But like, no, okay, listen, I'm not trying to shit on only children.
Yeah,
Like I in this day and age, like people our age now that are having kids,
Yeah.
I think it's like the direction of the world is becoming more normal. But I'm saying like people that are our age that are only children, it was like a different dynamic. They were raised in a different time.
Yeah.
In a different social dynamic. So yeah, they just tend to be a little bit, self-involved, or they grew up too quickly.
No, I
or-
understand what you're saying. It makes sense. I get it.
They never had to share. They've never had the sibling dynamic. Like I know for a lot of like girls that I talk to, they find it to be a huge turn on when a guy that they're dating or seeing has a sister. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether like it's true or not that that's had any impact on him, like there's an assumption there that it has, and if it has, it's been positive.
Yeah. No, I get it.
So that's something. Also, if somebody was like flipping through their phone of like pet pictures, just because I'm not a pet person, so somebody who's like that it comes up on a first date like with so much passion,
Yeah.
I'd be like, not that it's a deal breaker, but I'd be like, I don't know, I can't really.
It is hard to think of a real deal breaker, for sure. Like
it depends on how superficial you're gonna be.
yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of that, do you think, so I've been thinking about this kind of since we had Nancy on and
Yep.
now just talking to Kelly, both from Love is Blind. Do you think Love is Blind could successfully be a dating app? Just the concept.
1,000,000%.
No profile picture. Let's say, and like, what if there was even like a timer?
Yeah.
Like a timer on the app, chat or whatever, where you guys have only a certain amount of time to talk a day, to have these conversations with each other. You could even voice note.
Tinder, if you're listening, royalties.
Voice note could work. And then eventually you guys mutually agree to meet up somewhere. Yeah, because so many people love the show Love is Blind. People
Yeah.
keep signing up for it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, maybe people are kind of interested in this concept. Although imagine there'd be a lot of catfishing. There's obviously a downside, but I think it would be like a fun conceptual dating app.
Yeah, I would join it for sure.
Really?
Yeah.
You're like so big. You were in the one in the last episode who was like, put your pictures on Grindr. I hate people with no picture.
No, but I would love to. I would happily go on a show like that, Love is Blind.
Right.
If they made a gay version of it, they should put all the tops on one side, all the bottoms on another side, and have them like talk.
But what about the people who like are like, I'm like versatile?
Sure, throw them in there. Why not?
That would be
I think it would
interesting.
be very cool. So Netflix,
like a gay
don't steal that
season.
idea. Yeah. I think that I would love to go on a show like that because I think it would be really cool. So I would fuck with an app like that for sure.
I feel like the problem with a show like that these days, or a season like that, is everyone's so easily offended. They'll be like, well, what about bi people? What about like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
everything has to be like mushed together.
Yeah.
So I feel like it would have some type of backlash, but I like it. I would watch that.
But
I
all of
think
the
it would be
gays can
so
have
interesting.
Netflix can do a gay version. Netflix can do a lesbian version.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
but
start off.
Yeah, okay. And then figure
And then
it all
proceed.
out.
Yeah. Gauge the interest.
I'm a fan. I would love to see that. Especially I feel like, and I don't want to like speak for gay guys, but
Yeah,
I feel like there's so much like attraction and judgment in that kind
Oh
of
my
world.
God, there's so much.
Is that accurate?
This is a whole other topic that I could go on for an hour about. Gays hate gays.
Right.
It's so bad. I don't know why.
I do want to come
we
back
should
to
touch on
that,
that.
on our next episode. But
Yeah.
so you would say that that's accurate, that
Yeah.
they're so I feel like seeing them have to kind of like communicate and flirt without it being so like sexual
Yeah.
is a huge benefit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like kind of like it's so weird. Gay culture is very weird. Like it's like an unspoken thing and a lot of people believe it and see it in person, but for some reason the gays just love to hate on other gays. It's very strange.
There is nothing that I love more, and we're having some people on the pod actually, is seeing like a gay couple like with a kid, like monogamous, because I just feel like it puts the message out there that it's possible.
Yeah.
'Cause I feel like there's so much messaging out there that it's like it's not possible. Like nobody lives that lifestyle. Like that, almost like they don't go hand in hand. And I'm like, I think your life could be whatever you want it to be.
Exactly.
Anything is possible.
Totally.
That's kind of Kelly was saying. Manifest what you want.
I am such a big believer in that. You have no idea.
Yeah.
Manifestation totally fucking works.
I know. I feel like for you too, it's so fast.
So fast.
Like for some people, like you have to continuously manifest things.
Yeah.
But for you'll tell me about something and like literally like 2
It
days
happens.
later, you're like, it happened. And I'm like, shut the fuck up. Why is it? Can you manifest us like winning the lottery?
I've been trying.
Okay.
That one's not working.
Manifest a lawyer watching this episode who can contact me about suing the Canadian government. Let me be the face of this movement, guys. Let me help all the stay-at-home moms that are being unfairly discriminated against.
Sounds good.
Or better yet, if somebody in government is just watching or gets a wind of this clip, feel free to just change it, because like I don't need to sue. Like I just maybe
Maybe
correct
just
it.
yeah.
Just correct the problem.
I agree. They should do it on their own.
Don't imagine.
That'd be great.
But if that happened, then it would be like government would be, productive.
I know.
And
That would
that's
never
a
happen.
dream.
That is literally a dream.
I'm not even gonna bother manifesting it. I have so many other things to manifest because it's just never gonna happen. Sorry, government. You guys are not productive.
No. But we do love our government workers.
We do, but also, can I just ask?
What?
Have you ever been having a conversation or socially meet someone and you're like, what do you do? And they're like, I work for the government. And you're like, hey, that could mean anything. Like that you could be a janitor at the government. You could be like working a sports program, a teacher.
Yeah.
Like that umbrella term of I work at the government doesn't tell me anything.
Yeah.
There's nowhere for me to take the conversation from there.
Yeah.
So don't say that.
No, I agree. Literally 5 people I know work in the government. I don't even know what they do. All they say is the government.
Right. What
Yeah.
does that mean?
I'm like, I have no idea what you do.
Anyway,